Yo, 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 what is going on, my beautiful brothers and sisters, fellow radiators of love? My name is Jamal Pope, aka J Phoenix, and this is going to be your daily astrology horoscope for Wednesday, Hump Day, December 18th of 2024. I appreciate you all joining me in this video, and I'm trusting that you guys are having a wonderful week so far. Well, let's go ahead and hop into it. See what we got going on today. See how you can be better prepared to navigate those celestial energies. Well, by the time 6 a.m. rolls around Eastern Standard Time, we will see the moon have already conjunct Mars. So those of you in Europe, this would be like, I guess in like the later part of your morning going into the afternoon. Of course, some of you guys on the other side of the world, if you happen to be watching, this would be like somewhere in your afternoon. But those of us here in America will be asleep. Or at least a good bit of us will be asleep. But, like I said, the last time that the moon came around, Mars was direct, right? And the next time that, I think the next time the moon comes around, Mars would have actually retrograded back into Cancer, too. So, the other interesting thing, of course, the major thing today is going to be that sun that's going to be in square to Neptune today. So I did talk about this briefly in Tuesday's astrology horoscope, but this is going to be a very powerful and potent square. 3 days before the solstice, Neptune recently direct, squaring each other at 27 degrees. 2 plus 7 is 9. 9 is the Mars energy. It is Aries energy. And of course, we have that moon that is coming off that conjunction with Mars. This is going to be a day that's definitely going to challenge your perceptions. It's going to be a day where we have to watch the way that we are reacting and responding to the world and the various stimuli and energy around us. This sun in Sagittarius is wanting us, of course, to focus on, what are our beliefs? What are our personal philosophies? It's also could deal with education and school. And this square over to Neptune, it's posing a bit of a challenge here. Because, let me think about it. Neptune is in its home sign. It's the only planet in its home sign right now. And so that gives it a fair amount of strength there. And I would say it's the strongest planet. And of course, the sun, it's in a fire sign, but it's a mutable fire. So it doesn't have the firepower, the potency that it would like to, especially considering the fact that the dispositor of the sun, Jupiter, is retrograde in the detriment of Gemini, right? So, and the sun is dispositing this moon and this Mars, which Mars, of course, is retrograde in Leo. It's definitely an interesting day here because it's going to be a day that can definitely challenge our belief structure. It can challenge us to, do we have the capability of seeing beyond the veil? Do we have the capability of seeing beyond the wall, if you will, being able to see beyond the curtain that the Wizard of Oz is hiding behind? And of course, the sun will move past this degree. It will move past this degree, so it won't be here all day, but it's just something that we're going to be, feeling. And a lot of people can't necessarily see past the veil. They can't necessarily see that there are other possibilities that things can happen. They may get stuck on the stimuli of this Neptune. They may get stuck on the illusion. They may get stuck on the things that, maybe want us to make us feel good. But this is also about whether or not we can really open our heart. Can we feel like we can open our heart? Especially considering the fact that we are going to see this moon oppose Venus today. And that's going to be later on in the evening around 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That we'll see that moon make that opposition to Venus here. And this is about whether or not we can really open up and embrace our reality. Whether or not we can open up and allow love to pour into our hearts again. That's really what this is about, And with the sun at this point, still on that 27th degree, but it's moving past Neptune, we're still very much so in this sort of position where it's like, okay, yes, I don't have all the answers. Yes, things seem a little bit weird. Can I open my heart up to these experiences? Can I open my heart up to this moment and know that even though I don't know exactly how this is going to turn out, I'm trusting in a plan that things can work out and things will work out. It's easy to look at the world right now and get discouraged. It's easy to look at the world right now and to feel the disdain and the despair, and it's easy to go to those places. It's easy to go to that cave. And we all go to that cave from time to time. And we need to go to that cave from time to time. But no matter what the individual story, I would say, is, and I think a lot of times we get caught up on the individual story, and that moon with that Mars is definitely going to key us in with that. I think we a lot of times can get caught up on our individual stories, right? And we can see the doom and gloom and stuff like that. But as a whole, humanity has persisted and it has survived many rises and falls, many regimes rising and falling, different, plagues and different natural disasters and all of these sort of things. Humans have survived and they have persisted through all of it. And have created some pretty cool and badass shit. So a lot of times when we get absorbed into like our own personal world, our own philosophy, and our own story, and we project that onto the world and stuff like that, it can be easy to, especially with these times right now, trying to navigate. How do we navigate this without allowing the tendrils of a lot of that external reality come in and seep in and take control of us so we cannot even walk on our destiny, walk the path of our destiny, right? We all fall off from time to time, right? I think a day like today, especially with this moon opposing Venus, especially with that sun in square to this Neptune here, 3 days before the solstice, right? And with Mercury now starting to pick up a little bit of speed, it's not quite there, but it's going to start to make more sense. Things are going to start to make more sense, especially by the time that the moon meets up with Mercury. Things are going to start to make more sense. You're going to get clearer and clearer and clearer, right? So this is one of those moments where it is sort of like we are kind of hanging on. We are kind of embracing. We are kind of having to be open. We're having to receive a lot. We're having to observe our reality a lot because, yes, things are shifting massively right now, and we all can feel it. And maybe we all have that little thing that we maybe need to hold on to help us through this moment. Some days are easier than others, right? You know, it, you know, some days it just seems like it flows, and other days it just seems like you have to give yourself that one thing to really look forward to, right? It's just a very, it's one of those days where, like I said, it's going to pose some challenges. Sun squaring over to this Neptune. It's a challenging aspect. How are we going to be able to see beyond the veil that has been kind of put in front of us? And then, of course, like I said, this moon and Leo, we're going to be reacting and responding more to Leo-like things and more in a Leo-like fashion. So people are going to be feeling more fired up and wanting to feel the passion and the love for things. But that Venus and Aquarius, whether or not we can really connect to those people or connect to that job or connect to that emotion. Can we accept and embrace that and take that as a part of ourself? Or are we going to other it and put it outside of ourself? Be careful of othering things today. I think it's, of course, important to maintain, I guess, like your vibration and maintain your space, but othering people without really understanding the other person and just making assumptions or understanding the situation is probably not a recipe for success either here, right? So Wednesday is definitely going to feel like a hump day, that's for sure, from an astrological standpoint. And, like I said, things are going to start to get clearer. Mercury at the current moment, how fast is this thing moving? No, that's not what I meant to do. I did not mean to do that. I meant to go to the sheets. So at this point, it's not even moving it's only moving 27 minutes. It's not even moving a full degree yet, right? And yet it is the strongest. It's +4. Jupiter's +3, right? Venus +2, we got a couple zeros, and then we got -5 and -5. So trying to make decisions off our emotions right now and the way that you feel is probably not the best, especially considering the fact that both the moon and Saturn, which is all about our decision making, are both at a -5. Probably not a good idea to be making and responding in a very reactive way and making decisions based off of those things, because it's probably not going to yield the results that you want. This is about observing our reality. This is about being open to the information that's coming in, right? This is about receiving, right? This isn't necessarily about being hyper reactive and, making decisions based off of the way that you feel. We have to honor our emotions and understand them, but at the same time, to allow them to completely take over is another story, You know what I'm saying? So I think it's about appreciating the wide range of emotions, right? Just like, wow, it's like you can feel anxious, right? But I think it's about, shoot, you had to almost like think about it in a different way. Like, what does the anxiety teach you? Just being able to have the capacity to experience the anxiety is something of a miracle that we as humans we chose to do when we came here, to experience the wide vast range of emotions, and that we have the opportunity to experience those in the short amount of time that we are here. We all jumped at the opportunity. That's why we're here in the first place. That's why we came here, to experience all of it. We may not necessarily understand the moment why someone or why we would want to experience anxiety, sadness, depression, anger. Why would we want to experience those things? Well, we all want to experience the joy, the happiness, the bliss, the euphoria, you know, the determination, you know. We all want to feel that. We want to feel accomplished, right? But there's the other parts too, and it's those other parts that make us stronger. When you're fighting the demons in your life, when you're having to learn how to be courageous and brave, when you learn the resilience, when you get beat down and stuff like that, and then you stand back up, and you get beat down, and then you stand back up. And that's how you develop your wisdom. So we have to appreciate all of it. So I think that's really what it comes down to. The honoring of your emotions doesn't necessarily mean that you have to act on every feeling that you have. It's by acknowledging that they exist and being appreciative for that experience and what it teaches, right? So like I said, it's gonna be an interesting day. I would say, like, especially like I said, Mercury's moving slow, so we're still trying to figure things out. But like I said, by the time that we'll just go forward, might as well, right? By the time that the moon reaches Mercury, right? By the time that happens, look at that. Mercury's going to be moving faster, and it's going to be moving over a degree a day by the time that happens. It'll go back to being the fastest planet. It actually would have moved past Venus for being the fastest planet. So, that's a good thing that we got there, And I also want to say that Chiron's stationing, right? So things are starting to kind of click and move forward. They're just going to move forward a little bit slowly. And of course, with Mars there, which in many ways is kind of like the engine for this, yeah, it may take a little bit of time, but things are going to start to make more sense, and things will get clearer as they progress. It's just going to take a little bit. I just think it's really interesting that Mercury and Jupiter are both detriment, but they're still the strongest planets here at +5 apiece. So it just goes to show that even though things may, and I think that's the thing about it, I think sometimes people may feel like the world just seems upside down and inverted, but there's actually some power within this inversion, if you will, or this perceived inversion. I think this speaks to, honestly, just the balance of life and the yin and yang. That there's a little bit of light in the dark, and there's a little bit of dark in the light. And, we have to just remember that, So, the inherent balance within things, if you will. So, let's go ahead and hop into the cards. Let's see what we got going on. I've already shuffled this deck. I am going to give it another mini shuffle just in case. Clearly that card wants to come out. I have the Ten of Cups. You know how I like this card? The Ten of Cups speaks of this whole emotional journey that I've just been talking about and the trials and tribulations that it took to get here. Some of the cards on the way to the Ten of Cups. Well, you have the Five of Cups, the crying over spilled milk card. That's what I call it. Where 3 of the cups have fallen over and you have 2 left. Seemingly, you have less than half. And we can see that as a glass that is half empty, or we can see it as something that's half full. You have the 8 of Cups, another not easiest card to deal with when it comes to the cup energy, but it talks about being able to let go and move on for things, making peace with things. You have the 9 of Cups, which does speak to a personal sense of satisfaction and a personal sense of, peace and that you've made it. And, it's this, like I said, the 9 of Cups, it's like, yes, I made it. I'm here. I'm confident. I'm well. And you're emotionally secure in the moment. Then the Ten of Cups does seem like that, oh, it's the happily ever after. This is like the Hollywood, the Ten of Cups. It always shows this sort of energy. It shows a little bit of the others, but it's like the Ten of Cups energy. But this, in order to get to a Ten of Cups energy, it takes commitment. This is not automatic. It takes commitment, right? So I also have the Ace of Cups in reverse. And since I got both cups here, so like I said, I think this is really about not acting on the first little feeling that you get. To actually sit there with the emotion, feel the emotion, go through it, observe it, and then let it go. And then maybe see if you want to take some action. But don't just go with the first little feeling that you have. It's about, sitting with it, observing it, embracing it, absorbing it, and, whether it's a positive emotion or negative emotion, it will contribute to your growth in some way, shape, or form. And a day like today, when you have major oppositions, and then you also have, you have major oppositions, and then you have a major square that's happening. We do get this square twice a year, but this is definitely a strong one, right? Like I said, with Neptune coming forward and stuff like that, and the next time that the Sun does square Neptune, it will be in a new sign. So, yeah, just something to take into consideration. Also, to take into consideration the fact that the Moon and Mars today, they meet up, and it's the first time that they meet up while Mars is retrograde in Leo since 2010. So you got to think about back like 14 years to early January of 2010, and what were you doing at that time? So I was in my last semester of high school that year. And I was kind of using that semester as a means to really express myself and not really give a fuck what people thought about me. And I had a good semester. So, anyways, those are your cards. That is your reading for this astrology horoscope for Wednesday, December 18th. I trust that this message will assist you on your journey today. If you did enjoy this, definitely appreciate it if you like this video, you share it with your friends, and you subscribe to my YouTube channel. But y'all take care, stay blessed, have a wonderful Wednesday, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.